Okay, I'm Dr. David Levin. I'm a chiropractor from New York, currently practicing in Puli, Croatia. This is going to be about, how Lavylites came into my life through Oliver, and how it is through my profession. When listening to everybody speak, it's pretty eye-opening every time. Now, chiropractic was a profession that changed me from the beginning. It was kind of something that you have to kind of relearn everything, kind of unlearn what you've learned and start over. It started with tone and vibration, which is just such a partnership with Lavylites. These talks and what's going on over this weekend would fit so well with my profession in the U.S. Now, chiropractic is out in Europe and it's around, but being from New York and doing lots of seminars and those things there, this is a partnership that should not be missed. Now, what I see in my practice and in my life with it, I'll start with one example. I was with my two stepdaughters. They're 18 and 16 now. My daughter is, I have an 8-year-old, all girls, 8, 16, and 18. My 16-year-old, this was a couple years ago, she was just having a nice teenage moment, and everybody was against her, nothing was happening right, nobody understood her, and I was telling her about Lavylites, and I had the sensitive spray with me, and I just gave a little spray over her. Wasn't long. Within a couple minutes, I saw her laughing, joking, like nothing was wrong ever. And it didn't even occur to me at the time. I just did it. And then it was about a half hour later, I realized what had happened. And it was so easy. And just that alone, talking to other people about it, it was, people wanted to line up for it for their kids. Anyway, going back into chiropractic, and tone and vibration, which is basically the sentiment of what everything seems to be about, and what Lavylites is about. There have been so many cases that I've had and I've worked with. It has made my practice easier having Lavylites. People come in, they get sprayed, everybody gets sprayed. And before, after, and depending on what the situation is, repeatedly. Let's see, an example. I had one patient just recently with, what was it? Well, let's go to another one. Herniated discs. So I've had a large percentage of my practice, people come in with herniated discs. Hardly able to walk, hardly able to move, bent over, at this point talking about their vibration and everything is low, the world is against them. Starting with Lavylites, to, let's take L5, spray directly on there, and the pain seems to ease and their mood increases immediately, which therefore makes my life easier as a chiropractor to work with them. And what I do as well is also what it's all about, raising the vibration as well. Now, I've had other examples as I've gone through and kind of seeing missed opportunities years ago when I was working in New York. There was times, I remember I was called into Madison Square Garden once to work with the Lord of the Dance, and I think they're having some show here at one point. And there was the fiddle player who was working. I don't know if do you know Lord of the Dance? Do you know this? Yeah? Yeah. There was one of the fiddle players, who was just kicking her legs up over her head, dancing, and while playing the fiddle the whole time, and she was one of the two who couldn't be replaced. and she came to me hunched over like this, hardly able to walk, and she's like, I have to be on stage in an hour. I'm like, oh my God. And you know, I worked with her, now this is before I knew Lavylites. I worked with her through Kiropraktik a few times. By midway through the concert, she was kicking her legs up over her head, you know, and afterwards came and just gave me a giant hug and just went on, because it basically saved her for the show. Now, I've gone to plenty of shows, plenty of concerts. I wound up being somebody in New York that was constantly called for events like this. Lavylites would have made that so much easier, and something that they could take home and work with. A lot of the actors, a lot of the people I've worked with, they have wanted something to better their lives with, and this is something that could work. Now, I would love to do some questions and answers if I could. I know this is a lecture for me, but is everybody familiar with chiropractic? Is anybody familiar with chiropractic? Oh, not many. Well, I have one here. I have a patient of mine here. And with Lavylites and chiropractic, I mean, it's, let's see, osteopathy. Do people know osteopathy? Yes? A few. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. So chiropraktic is about the body, nervous system, neurology, tone, vibration, and letting the energy flow at its optimum. And this is where Lavylites comes in as well. It's the partnership is there, and this is kind of what I want. Basically, I want to preach for anybody within my profession, or any profession even similar to it, to embrace this. Now, examples. Let's see. I have an idea. Yeah. Come on up. All right. I hope you don't mind.
I absolutely don't.
All right. Great. So this is going to be a help for me. So within chiropraktic, now you've been coming as a patient.
Exactly.
How does it feel for you with chiropraktic? You've had Lavylites there. You've felt it. You felt it. You've felt Lavylites. You've had chiropraktic, and it's just basically the openness that you feel from it. Can you kind of explain a little bit from it?
Well, thank you, and yes, I can. So the fact is that only recently I got introduced to Lavylites, but what I didn't know is that I've been using them for quite some time. Thanks to Dr. Levin here. I mean, every time after doing his session with me, he would apply a gel, he would apply a spray, and I instantly, first of all, he's amazing doctor. I'm not talking because, first of all, he helped me. Since my job as a tour guide, I've been sitting for long hours in a bus in uncomfortable position, and I started to feel a lot of stress, you know, in my lower back, and I needed to ask for a help, so his practice helped me quite a lot. And currently, and at this point, Lavylites products can help me during the times when I'm on a trip and I cannot go to his office and, you know, get my back realigned, and this is why I'm thankful. But now he's been using those products, and what I hear my mother, who also suggested me to go to his office, and her friends, they all spoke about one magic product that helped them relieve the pain and that also smelled nice, and that they felt, my mother is a very spiritual person, so she could feel also her aura change after all those therapy sessions. But only later I found out that it was actually a product that now we are talking about. And like I said, with the combination of a real physical touch and of the essence that come from the spray, that can work a magic on a human. Like I can testify on my own, my back is completely fine now. I really don't have any trouble, and I only wish and my is that I learned about it 6 years ago. But you know, there is first time from everything, and you know, we can change always our life for better. So thank you. And
Thank you. That's great. Lots more to say. Again, just thank you, and I think that's gonna be it. All right, thank you.